Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So today what I'm going to do is take apart this large floor fan. It doesn't work, unfortunately. I found it in the garbage. And the nice thing about one of these is there's a lot of metal to it. There is a nice copper bearing motor, there's a nice cord. So a lot of this I can divert from the landfill. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to take it apart, how to separate it, and how to maximize your profit. So first thing, there are a bunch of exterior screws to protect you from the fan. I'm going to take the last one out. I've already taken a bunch out just to save time. And I don't find floor fans this big often, so this was kind of a nice score. Okay, the top I can remove now. I put a magnet to it. It sticks. So this entire piece is steel, so it's going to go into my steel pile. And this is very heavy. This is about 2.5, 3 pounds of steel. I'm now exposed, I have a plastic fan. Unfortunately, the fan, I can't do anything with other than throw it into the garbage. Some people will sell parts on eBay. I don't do that. I'd just rather it diverted from the landfill. So I have to unscrew this nut here and go clockwise. Okay. And the nice thing is this nut's actually really nice condition. I can actually use these, so I put them away. If they're not too rusty, I'll use them again. Okay, and I'm just going to use a hammer to knock out this fan. I'll put my safety glasses on as well. I can see the fan is very dirty. It's got some hair on it, so it's obviously been in a shop. Pull up. Okay, so this is one entire piece. It's plastic. Unfortunately, I'm just going to put it in the landfill, or I put it on the side of the road. If someone picks it up, great. If they don't, unfortunately it's going to landfill. But you can see there's a lot of hair and dust and dirt on this. So that could be a cause of why it doesn't work anymore. Okay, this here is another back grill. There is the motor. Okay, this outer frame is plastic. Okay, but I'm going to start by actually exposing or taking apart the back frame by taking out, there's a couple screws here. Actually, I'm going to loosen the motor first. So here's the motor. It's got 4 screws. So I'm going to start with those. Actually, I have to use a pair of pliers in the back because there's a nut. And I've already done a couple, so I just have one left to do. Tighten that up. Screwdriver. Take the last nut out. Okay, so there's my nut. My screws are now out, so I'm going to pull that out. I'm actually going to cut the cord as well so I can show you the motor. Okay, so this is a copper bearing motor. So there's copper inside here. I've got to pull off this the case first, but it will reveal a really nice copper bearing motor. I can bring this in as is and get 10 cents a pound. This is about 4 pounds. Or the better thing is I can remove this steel shell, put the steel into my steel bin, and take out the really nice copper that goes around the motor. And that's what I'm going to do. So I do have a video on when to take motors apart and how to do it. For the sake of this video, I will take this one apart because it's very simple to do. Okay, before I go to that though, I am gonna finish off with this frame here. I'm gonna cut the cords. Okay, there is also gonna be a silver contact up at the top. I'm gonna try and turn this. So here is a dial, this control dial. Anytime you have some type of clicking or on and off switch, there is silver contacts in there. So I'm going to get that as well. I'm going to also show you right here a really nice cord. This cord is called a insulated copper cord or appliance cord. Any appliance cord goes into one bin. This in Canada is about $1 a pound. It's not a pound, but I put it in a bag and it adds up. There are also 3 coated brass prongs right on the end. Some people leave those on there for the weight. Some people take them off and put them into their coated brass bucket. That's what I do. Okay, I just snap them off. Okay, but a nice copper wire or appliance cord. Okay, I'm gonna take the steel frame off. There's a couple screws on the outside that connects it. So I gotta take those off. Because I want to kind of get rid of this thing. It's bulky and it's getting in my way. Let's see if there's one. There's another one. Okay, so I do take some of them off for my video because I want to speed up the process. Okay, so this is now connected. I want to get this arm off. Okay, this little handle does have a small piece of brass in there. So what I do is I will actually take a grinder and cut that open to get the brass out. Because every little bit diverted from the landfill is a great plus. Okay, the rest of it unfortunately is going to be plastic. Okay. This arm, even though it has some plastic on it, I'm going to throw this steel arm into my steel pile as is. Because the price of steel isn't great, the scrapyards aren't that picky with the little pieces of plastic, okay? So this is going to go into my steel pile. Another nice piece of steel. The frame here is steel as well as that. But on the top, there is a control panel. So that's what I'm going for right now. And I want to also get the little piece of cord that's left. It's just connected by some zip ties. Now I get those cut off. And there's a couple screws that I need to get in here to get at that silver contact box. You can see I'm kind of getting a little dirty, my hands there. Obviously, this fan was in a shop, so nothing wrong with that. Some spider webs on it, never hurt anybody. All right, so I'm gonna put my safety glasses on there. Try to pull this off. I'm gonna cut it. Take a pair of pliers. So this plastic just has a casing on it. Wait. Oh, it's got some screws in it. You can see that. So there's a handle here. Pull out these screws. And this actually isn't going to have silver in it. When I pop this open, there's going to be 4 little pieces of copper in here. Okay. So I'm going to do that for you right now. It's very easy. Just take a hammer, open up the plastic, folds off just like that. There's a small little ring of brass, and there are 4 little coils of copper like that. So there is no silver on these, but that's okay. There's a little bit of copper and getting as much out of the landfill as I can. So there's some brass. Okay, I'm going to finish off getting the little guts in here. Little relay box. I actually throw these into my battery. Scrapyards, I do put them in a separate bag and they'll put them in there, but they're not that heavy, but I will put those in there. Better than going to the landfill. There is some cord that I want to get out. I'm not going to fiddle with all of it, but I'll get the last big piece that I can get. Okay, there's some lower grade wire. So this is called lower grade wire because it's very thin and there's more plastic on it than copper. You can see there is a little bit of copper where I broke it. But this in Canada is about 20 cents a pound. Okay, I always throw these still, even though there is a lot of low grade wire in there, because they're all spooled together. I throw them into my appliance cord and that seems to be okay. But anything that's loose like this is lower grade wire. Okay, the rest of this frame is metal, even though with the plastic, I might try and knock the plastic off, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. But the plastic is garbage. Okay, so now getting to the motor, where the money is, I wanna make sure I get all the nuts off. Okay, I wanna pop this out, use a hammer. There's sometimes you gotta look to make sure you get the little pins. There is a small little pin that I have to pop out. Okay, right there. And I just have to get this pin out of here. That's because it's bolted in. I should have known that. Where are my pliers? Vice grips. Pull off all these nuts. Gotta get the nuts off before I can get this steel. Okay, so sometimes it does take a little bit of time, but it is worth the copper inside because it's not that time consuming. I find it kind of therapeutic. Okay, but as I said, you could bring this copper bearing motor in as is and get 10 cents a pound. Take out my safety glasses. It's getting a little warm in here. There are 4 of these. Okay, last one. There we go. So, this is going to go into my steel pile now. Okay. I have now exposed the copper coil. And all I'm going to do, very simple, is I'm just going to actually take an angle grinder and cut down one side of this. And then I'm just going to pop out the other side. You can see a lot of dust on this motor. Okay, so I'm going to set up my angle grinder right now. Very quickly and effectively show you how to take apart this motor. Doesn't take that long. Want to make sure I have my gloves on, proper PPE. off now. The copper, finish my cut unfortunately, but that's okay. I'll just cut it with this. Okay, now there are going to be, as you can see, some really nice copper inside. There are some strings. I have to take the strings off. But now what I'm going to do is just going to take a punch. I'm going to put this in my vise. I'm going to punch this out. From this part, it will drop out the bottom. Okay, so take a punch, a hammer, just going to put it on there. And I'm just going to work it all the way around. And I'm not going to do it all for you right now, but I'll do some. Okay, and as you can see, it's starting to come up. I'm just going to take a screwdriver now, put it in there, and wedge it up like a lever. Let's take a pry bar. Take it. Another screwdriver here. Pop it up. Okay, and as you can see, really nice copper coming out of here. And I'm just going to go all the way around. Look at that. So nice and easy. Okay, so I just, really nice pile of copper. I'm going to throw this now into my number 2 copper. Number 2 right now is about $1.60 a pound. So I made a lot more money off of this copper. It's about a pound there. Okay, I'm going to still throw this into my steel bin. Okay, so just to recap, again, a couple little pieces of brass in here. I have some really nice number 2 copper. A lot of metal that's going to go into my steel bin. I have an appliance cord. I have some lower grade wire. I have just a little bit of plastic. So all in all, very well worth it. It took me about 20 minutes to take apart. Important things, another appliance diverted from the landfill. Hope you enjoyed that video. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Tin Man out.